What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country on a daily basis that you need to know about here in our country. And yeah, there's a lot going on here in Congress this week here. There could be multiple different votes here going on here this week on major things here. Also, there could be presidential executive orders going on here this week as well, directly from the president. We've got several different things to talk about here this week. We'll start here with this one. Yeah, Democratic senators are calling on President Biden to use full powers of the executive branch on climate. On climate. And this is as I know some people think that this is a hoax, but we are seeing. Now, you can let me know your thoughts here if you believe this or not, but we are seeing dramatic effects here across the United States and the world here right now. And I'll show you here. You can let me know your thoughts here on this. Here's what's happening, for example, in Texas right now. In Texas, they're struggling with massive heat waves. The lights are actually going out in parts of Texas as their grid, their electrical grid, is maxed out in parts of Texas as they're struggling with power. And in fact, here's what happened in a Texas news station twice as the power went out during a live broadcast twice. Check this out.
You have this kind of heat over major populations, you get a big draw on that electric demand, and it looks like we may have just switched over to generator power. Our lights just went out. 104 in Huntsville. It is excessive heat in College Station at 105 degrees. We are looking at, okay, we're back now. 105 degrees currently in College Station, so excessive heat up there. We're expecting high temperatures tomorrow west of Houston to get back above 100. It did it again. All right, so our lights just went out, but I learned last time I'm still on live TV. So there's the forecast. Our lights always go first, and then we see them cycle back on once we get our generator kicking back in here. But triple-digit heat out to the west. Thank you. Let there be light. And there was light. Is the AC on, Melanie? That's the important thing right there.
Yeah, they said, quote, mystery solved. They tweeted, one of our engineers informed me we went off the grid a little after 3 p.m. The studio lights aren't on a dedicated backup power source. So they went off after we switched to a generator power. 2 hours later, we went off the generator and on the grid, and the process repeated. The incident brought a moment or two of levity to what is in fact a very serious example of climate crisis in action. Texas is in the midst of record-breaking heat wave, the Washington Post reported. Temperatures in Houston hit 105 degrees last Sunday, a record for July. On the same day, College Station experienced its second hottest day ever, with a high of 111 degrees Fahrenheit, the second hottest day ever recorded. The city of San Antonio has seen temperatures of 100 degrees Fahrenheit or higher for a record 35 days this year. Meanwhile, here's what happened in Hawaii yesterday. Yeah, let me know your thoughts here on this. This is crazy.
This is something not normally seen in Hawaii, a wave crashing over the roof of a two-story Keauhou Kona Surf and Racket Club on the Big Island. The huge swell causing damage as monster waves rolled in with a very high tide. The biggest South Shore surf Hawaii's ever seen in decades has meant a weekend of huge waves.
And while the swell has peaked, the dangerous and even damaging surf is not done. This historic swell was not generated by Tropical Storm Darby, which passed to the south of the state yesterday and did create much smaller surf for our eastern shores. This instead was a massive swell generated in the South Pacific that took days to get here and will slowly drop over the next few days. While the largest waves may have already moved through, sizable surf will remain up tomorrow, so high surf warnings remain posted for all southern shores.
Everybody outside! Everybody outside!
On Maui, Dinner was a wash as waves moved into the dining area at Hono Oceanside Restaurant. This wave crashing into Front Street just after 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon.
Damaging surf also struck Kauai. County officials shared these images from Poipu Ho'one Road, closed from Ku'ai Road to Pe'e Road until further notice. And off Oahu, DLNR officers captured this video of what they believe is a 25-foot wave coming into Diamond Head.
Yeah, so a 25-foot wave going into Diamond Head there. It hit all four main islands there on Hawaii, on the south shore of each side of them. Yeah, so our thoughts and prayers go out to all of them. It's unsure here of any if any people are affected with injuries or deaths, but definitely some property damage for sure there. And yeah, yeah. So I know you can't make this stuff up. Meanwhile, in Europe, look at what's going on there. Extreme heat sears parts of Europe, with the UK seeing its third hottest day on record. Other sources here saying the UK breaks its record for highest temperature as Europe sizzles its heat wave. Now, and you can see here, just literally, we're seeing this all across the world here. This is France. This is Portugal. Um, yeah, Spain. Yeah, and of course, we've seen the wildfires across California year after year, with drought, with fires, and wow, mercury exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit in parts of UK, Portugal, and Spain. Heat-related deaths have been recorded across the continent. Senator Jeff Merkley, Democrat from Oregon, and Sheldon Whitehouse, Democrat from Rhode Island, on Monday called on President Biden to use, quote, the full powers of the executive branch on climate, following Senator Joe Manchin's declaration that he would not back climate spending in a reconciliation bill. Joe Manchin kind of walked that back, saying that he didn't actually say that. He just said he would revisit it here in a week or two. So we'll have to see what happens here in that. But a lot of people think that Joe Manchin is stalling, which could actually be the case here. Merkley called on Biden to explore options ranging from declaring a national emergency on climate to continued use of the Defense Production Act. He also called for an end to greenlighting new fossil fuel projects and a beginning to green lighting every possible renewable energy project. And see, I don't really believe in that. And again, this is where, I just look at it from a realistic point of view, not fully Democratic, not fully Republican. We need to take it from a middle of the road point of view. We can't just stop production on gasoline. You can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. We need gasoline. We especially need them for cars. Think about all the people that have cars that need gas. I mean, to me, it's common sense, right? We need gasoline. If we don't keep producing gasoline, or anything like that, if we cut production on it, it's just only going to raise the price of gasoline even more. So I would think it would be foolish to cut things like that. We don't want to see gas prices go higher. They're dropping right now. They're dropping right now. We would be foolish to do that. I get the whole environment things. I understand that. I mean, I just showed it to you. And I do think that we need to work towards more renewable energy, for the climate as well. Also for the prices as well. It helps your pocketbooks. But also because I just think it makes common sense, specifically for things like the grid, and for things like the stuff the government. Okay, when it comes to your car, there's only like 1% of cars are electric vehicles. Okay, so when it comes to like electric vehicles affecting the grid right now, it's really not an issue because there's like less than 1% of cars are electric vehicles. Okay, so that's not really a concern at this moment. Okay, if there's going to be a lot more electric vehicles in the future, they're going to need to upgrade the grid, especially in Texas. Texas is refusing to be part of the rest of the grid, and that's why they're having a big problem here. They're basically a grid on their own. They refuse to be part of the rest of the United States, so they can't share power. Okay, so like for example, all the other states get to share power. So all the other states can share power between each other. Texas refuses to do that. So they have this issue where they're maxed out. They're maxed out of power. And they need to expand their power. They need to build a lot more immediately. And they've been in this problem for years. And they honestly, if you're from Texas, let me know your thoughts here. Um, Texas should have been expanding power for years and years and years and years. I mean, you guys have seen this coming, right? Let me know your thoughts here on this. Or you need to join the grid. And again, I'm not like for Texas, against Texas. I'm just looking at this as a realistic problem. And Texas is growing. Texas is expanding. Texas population is going up. So you can't ignore the problem. You can't ignore the problem. Personally, I would just join the grid. I mean, you're like the only state that's not on the grid with the rest of the country. You join the grid, and all of a sudden you get to share power. So when you need power, you get to join all the other states. This is no reason not to be on the grid. I mean, but you let me know your thoughts in the comments. But yeah, so like the problem with all this issues here is that we need gasoline for cars, but gasoline is also extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. Okay, things like solar and wind and nuclear are not as expensive in the fact that you don't need to continually drill them out of the ground. Okay. You build solar, you build wind, and you build nuclear. And pretty much once you build them, they're there. And then they produce every single day. Okay. Sun comes out, it produces, wind comes out, it produces, and nuclear produces once it's built. Okay. And you have very little maintenance. Oil and gas, you have to drill out of the ground every single day, or however often you drill, and as soon as you burn it, it's gone. As soon as you put it in your gas tank, you're burning it. You know how often you have to fill up your gas tank. Constantly, constantly. Well, for example, if you put solar panels on your roof, how often do you need to replace them? Like, never. That's just to give you an example, like every 20 or 30 years, right? So that's just to give you an example. You don't need to go to the gas station every week anymore once you have solar panels. Now, of course, a car is different because they're expensive on a personal basis, but on a government basis, they're starting to build more solar, they're starting to build more wind, they're starting to build more nuclear. And this all kind of is just, we can't rely on one source as a government. You can't rely on just solar, can't rely on just wind, and you can't rely on just nuclear. But as a combination, it's all kind of there. And when the sun goes down, you have all these other things. And remember, it stores the energy too. So you get all that sun during the day, and then it kind of stores the energy. Or if it's all used up, then you have all your other sources of energy as well. But this is why you can't just stop gasoline production, and that's not a good thought process, because you just can't. We need all of them. We need all of them. You let me know your thoughts here in the comments. But gas is extremely expensive. It's only going up in the future. I mean, when we look at the price of gas, I think we all know that it's going up, 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 up. In fact, solar prices and wind prices have been going down, 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 down. If you think about solar, years and years ago, it was extremely expensive. And as technology has gotten better, and we've gotten photovoltaic cells. I don't have solar panels on my house, by the way. I actually would like to. I'm in Ohio. It's not the best area for solar, but I'd like to get them. It'd be something cool here. I'd really like to get them because the Tesla battery wall, or whatever they call it, gives you backup power when power goes out. So what's cool here is that like if we don't get power outages very often, it's rare here in Ohio, very rare, but a couple times, um, I can upload my videos and film when power goes out, and things like that. You have power because what happens is when the power goes out to your house, if you had a system like that, whether you're in Ohio, Texas, Florida, wherever, it's basically a backup generator without diesel. Because it stores the energy in like a big battery system, and that battery system stores the energy even if it's nighttime, and it powers your house. Yeah. So think about like all day long, you get the sun during the day, and at nighttime it stores the power in the batteries and powers your house all night. And then basically these, from what I understand, these systems, um, you spend no electricity, and if your state allows it, which most states do, you can actually sell some of the electricity back to the grid and actually have a negative electricity bill. You can actually make money on it. It's an interesting thing here. But not everybody's going to do that on a personal level. I mean, I haven't either. But on a national level, this is how we can kind of solve some of these problems going forward and lower electricity bills, because gas and oil is the most expensive form of everything. Think about when you go to the gas station, $4, $5 a gallon gas. Um, we did that story here on the Uber driver who got a Tesla, and it was cheaper for her, and her tips went up because she got more tips because people thought the Tesla was a higher end model. And it was cheaper for her to charge at home and when she was out to charge her electricity to charge her car than to fill up a $5 a gallon gas. She was actually in California, so it was probably 6 or 6.50 or 7 or whatever. Um, than to charge electricity. But for people, it's not practical for everybody. It's not practical for everybody. And in the years to come, we'll start to see used electric vehicles. Just like right now, you can get a used Prius, which is a hybrid, which is basically half electric, half gas. It basically has a bunch of batteries in there, so it's a half hybrid, half gas. And those get like 50 miles per gallon and stuff like that. Again, I don't have a hybrid, but let me know if you have a Prius, if you have a hybrid. How you like those. Um, 50 miles per gallon would seem pretty nice right now, right? Yeah. So as technology evolves, I get the whole fact that people want to. We can't always be stuck in the old way of thinking, because the problem with the old way of thinking is that gas is so expensive. I actually did see a lot of comments here in the comments section. Maybe I'll bring them up here real quick. All right, let's see if we can look at some of these comments here. I asked you what your gas prices were, if you had any gas below $4 a gallon here in any parts of the country here. So I'm just going to search my comments for the word gas here, and we'll see some of these. So Natasha says gas here in Cullman, Alabama, $3.59 a gallon. That's really cheap there in Cullman, Alabama. Chris Cole says gas in Salem, Virginia, $3.75. That's pretty cheap here as well. Robert Theobald says gas is I think that's $3.89 in Morgantown, North Carolina. Regina Owens says, good morning, Jimmy. St. Louis County at Costco, $3.85. Just kind of scrolling through some of these. Ed Ball says New Jersey, $4.50. Just kind of scrolling here. Gas in West Virginia is still $4.89. Gas in Albene, Texas, $3.92 from Billy Smith here. Mississippi gas, $3.94 from Ricky McQuaid, $3.74 in some places. Diesel, $4.92. Brian Snow says Elkin, North Carolina, $3.96. Irene Anderson says, I've seen gas at $3.99 in Georgia. Deborah Smith says, Palm Springs, California has been over $6 since January. It was $6.99. 2 days ago, it's now $6.35. Craig Orr says Miami, Florida, $3.99 a gallon. Not bad for Florida. Jay Vale says gas in California is still high. The cheapest I have seen was $6.95. Ouch. APOC 310 says California gas $5.48. Obviously a different part of California, but that's not bad for California. Robert Wells says $3.99. And Betty Byers says today I saw gas in Davenport, Iowa, $3.99. Rhonda Ferguson says gas $5.09 in Oregon. Melinda Harbin says $3.89 East Tennessee, or in Georgia, East Tennessee $4.39. Daryl Michaels $4.24 doesn't say. Laredo, Texas $3.79. Carmen Baca. Let me see here. Milena Boulevard in Orlando, Florida $3.89. Jolene Dawson says $4.66 in Clarksburg, West Virginia. I wonder why West Virginia is so high. Wisconsin gas down to $3.79 in Madison, Wisconsin. Mark Prickett says gas in Illinois $5.60. Oh my. Wow, Illinois. That's unbelievable. Gas in Ohio is high. I don't remember what the price in gas in Ohio was, unfortunately. I just don't remember. Jimmy Gas, just letting you know, $3.74 in Edinburgh, Texas. Yeah, Texas seems to have some low gas prices right now. South Carolina, $3.69. Columbia, South Carolina. Boise, Idaho, $5.20. Ouch. Biden should drill our country's oil, not beg. Yeah. I mean, I agree. We should be producing oil in our own country as opposed to getting it from other countries. That I definitely agree from. I mean, we need to get oil from our own country, and we also need to be doing solar, wind, and nuclear in our own country. It needs to be a two-pronged approach. We can't rely on just one source, and we need to do it in our own country. You let me know your thoughts in the comments. Veronica Rodriguez, gas is $3.55 in Brownsville, Texas. That I think might be the lowest, $3.55. Has anybody seen lower? Gas $3.98 in Muskogee, Oklahoma. I don't even know how to say that. Gas $3.99 in Muskego, Missouri, or is that Mississippi? Yeah, gas still. Wow, some of these cities: Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Tuscumba, Mississippi, $3.95 and $3.85. $3.69 in Alabama. Yeah, you guys can see I get a lot of comments. A lot of comments. $5.10 in Utah. Ouch. Ouch. Yeah. And these are just the comments that have the words gas in them, guys. Just the comments that have the word gas. Okay, Grove City, Ohio, $3.85. $3.85. Imagine all the comments I get that don't even have the word gas in them. $3.99 in Michigan. $3.95 in Memphis, Tennessee. You can see we have an absolutely amazing community here. $6.05 in Southern California. Yeah, ouch. $4.45 in West Virginia. $3.99 Hamilton, Ohio. Yeah, so it's nice to see gas prices going down, but will it continue? Will it continue? Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I will keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. Let me know what gas prices here are in your state and your city. Comment down below. And who knows, maybe I'll feature you in an upcoming episode. Yeah, so make sure to subscribe, comment down below. Subscribe is completely free to do so. Remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the White House says good news is coming. You can click on that video next. And if you want to see new video about SNAP, pandemic EBT, and stimulus money, click on this video next here. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.